Ethan never imagined that a single security camera would destroy everything he believed about his marriage. It all started after a series of strange incidents inside their home. Small things began disappearing: a silver necklace, a set of house keys, and even cash from a locked drawer. Nothing valuable enough for a professional thief, yet enough to make Ethan feel that someone had been inside the house. His wife, Olivia, dismissed his concerns, insisting he was overthinking. "Maybe you're just forgetting where you put things," she would say with a reassuring smile. But Ethan knew his own memory, and something about the situation didn't feel right. Unable to ignore the feeling, Ethan secretly installed several tiny hidden cameras around the house while Olivia was away visiting her sister. He didn't tell anyone, believing he would simply prove that nothing unusual was happening and remove the cameras a few days later. For the first 2 nights, everything looked completely normal. Olivia cooked dinner, watched television, and went to bed. Ethan almost laughed at himself for becoming paranoid. On the 3rd evening, however, everything changed. While Ethan was working a late shift, one of the cameras detected movement in the living room. He opened the live feed on his phone, expecting to see Olivia cleaning or watching television. Instead, he saw her carefully unlocking the front door even though nobody had knocked. A man wearing a black hoodie quietly stepped inside. His face was hidden beneath a cap, making him impossible to recognize. Ethan's heart began pounding as he watched them embrace. They spoke softly for several minutes before disappearing into the study, the only room where Ethan had decided not to install a camera because he thought it would invade Olivia's privacy. The footage ended 40 minutes later when the stranger walked out of the house carrying nothing except a small envelope. Olivia stood at the door, watching him leave with tears in her eyes. Furious and convinced his wife was having an affair, Ethan rushed home expecting to confront her. But when he arrived, Olivia was calmly reading a book as though nothing had happened. She smiled and asked why he had returned early. Ethan wanted to accuse her immediately, but instead he remained silent. He decided he needed more evidence before revealing the cameras. The next morning, Ethan replayed the footage frame by frame. That's when he noticed something he had missed before. The mysterious man never touched Olivia romantically. Their hug lasted only a few seconds, and throughout the conversation Olivia appeared frightened rather than affectionate. Even stranger, just before leaving, the man looked directly toward one of the hidden cameras and smiled. It wasn't the smile of someone caught on camera. It was the smile of someone who already knew the cameras were there. The next morning, Ethan could no longer keep the secret to himself. He confronted Olivia and admitted that he had installed hidden cameras throughout the house. Instead of becoming angry, Olivia's face turned pale. She quietly sat down and asked him one question. "Did you see his face?" Ethan shook his head. Olivia took a deep breath and confessed that the man was not her lover. His name was Mason, and he had been her younger brother's closest friend years ago. Before her brother died in a mysterious car accident, he had secretly uncovered evidence that connected a powerful businessman to a series of financial crimes and illegal payments. The evidence disappeared after his death, but a few weeks earlier Mason had contacted Olivia, claiming he had finally recovered the missing files. He had been meeting her in secret because he believed someone was watching both of them, and he didn't want Ethan to become involved. Ethan wanted to believe her, but doubts remained. Then everything changed that same evening. The front door suddenly opened, and detectives entered the house with a search warrant. Someone had anonymously reported that stolen financial records connected to an ongoing investigation were hidden inside their home. The police searched every room but found nothing. As they were leaving, one detective quietly handed Ethan a photograph recovered from another investigation. The man in the black hoodie was standing beside a wealthy businessman who had recently disappeared after several witnesses against him had died under mysterious circumstances. Realizing the danger was real, Ethan and Olivia rushed to meet Mason at an abandoned warehouse where he had arranged to hand over the evidence. When they arrived, the warehouse was silent. Mason was lying on the floor, badly injured but still alive. Before losing consciousness, he handed Ethan a flash drive and whispered, "Don't trust anyone wearing a badge." Seconds later, armed men surrounded the building. One of the detectives from earlier stepped out of the shadows and revealed he had been working for the businessman all along. The anonymous tip, the search warrant, and even the investigation had all been part of a plan to recover the flash drive before it reached the authorities. A tense chase followed through the warehouse. Ethan managed to escape with Olivia while the corrupt detective pursued them. As police backup finally arrived, the detective attempted to flee but was arrested after the flash drive was handed to honest investigators. The files contained bank records, videos, and signed documents exposing years of corruption, bribery, and multiple murders ordered to protect a criminal empire. Within days, the businessman, the corrupt detective, and several accomplices were arrested. Weeks later, Mason recovered in the hospital and thanked Ethan for believing the truth before it was too late. Ethan realized the hidden cameras had not exposed an affair, they had accidentally uncovered a conspiracy that had remained hidden for years. Although the cameras had nearly destroyed his marriage, they had also saved innocent lives. Standing beside Olivia outside the courthouse after the convictions, Ethan admitted that trust could never be replaced by suspicion alone. Sometimes what looks like betrayal is actually someone risking everything to protect the people they love. From that day forward, every time he looked at those old security cameras, he remembered that the biggest secrets are not always hidden behind locked doors, they are often hidden behind the stories we assume are true.